Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Skymetal Iron Gods. And this is session part 8, chapter 1, Fires of Creation. As we continue our story, delving deeper and deeper below in the caves and the seemingly world below Torch. We'll turn that over to Vi in just a few moments to bring us up to speed and get us going on this game. But as usual, a couple of quick announcements. First and foremost, take a look up above my head here and you will see these mystical, magical domain relics. They are, of course, the domain dice for this particular game. Domain dice is a way that you, the audience, can have an influence on the game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting a sub. You can tip $5. You can cheer 500 bits. All of those things will earn us more of these domain tomes that we can use in the course of the game, typically to re-roll or gain advantage, things like that. Most often we use them to re-roll when we need to. As an example, since I have to adjust the number here, with that subscription, we are now up to 6. That's how it works. And it is you, the audience, of course, that can have that power to grant us these domain relics. We've been announcing on the games this week that this week is the last regular week of streaming for MTD for 2023. I almost forgot what year it was. For 2023, this will be the last session of Skymetal until in January of 2024. As per usual, MTD takes the month of December mostly off, a chance to rest and relax and spend time with families and plan, in my case, plan for some new adventures in the new year. We will be having on Monday nights in the month of December, we will be having our traditional Scribes and Scrolls interludes, which are one-on-one sessions with each of the players. Those will be happening every Monday night at 8 p.m. And in most cases, those will be pre-recorded, but myself and sometimes other members of the show will be hanging out in the audience, in the chat for those. So you can tune in on Monday nights for those in the month of December. The only other game that we have scheduled is Thursday. Last week, Thursday, or rather 2 weeks ago, Thursday, was the finale episode of Season 1 of Kids on Bikes, Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. This is going to be sort of the holiday special. It's the session 0 of Season 2, if you will. It is a role-playing session set in the world. But it is a chance for the characters to sort of establish some new lore and kind of get settled into the new world. And then we will take a break from that for the month of December, and that will return on the first Thursday in January. The only other announcements that I have for the moment is just a reminder or to let you, the audience, know that we as players have a set of safety tools in place. We have made sure that through session 0 and constant open communication, we understand where everyone's lines and veils are. Nonetheless, we do have safety tools in place in case lines and veils or something new comes up or whatever. Safety tools are a way to keep yourself and your player safe at your gaming table, whether you're streaming or playing in private. We encourage you to also use safety tools at your own table. That said, like all of our games here, we are all adults playing in a fantasy world. Sometimes you will hear adult language. You may hear adult situations, graphic depictions of violence, things like that. If that is not for you, please feel free to show yourself out. Head on over to somewhere else. Why not go to youtube.com/miniterraindomain and check out some of our other games. Granted, they are all generally mature audience games, but you could check out the Legends of Eleanor charity game from a couple months ago. That is PG-13. Anyway, The last thing I want to mention before I turn things over to our game master, as always, we just want to remind you that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. There are so many reasons that you could be struggling. Regardless of what that reason is, know first and foremost that it is valid. It is okay to not be okay, but you do not have to struggle alone. You can come into our chat at any time and type !help. And a couple of URLs will show up in the chat. Those are findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Vi.
So, we are playing Skymetal, in which we are an adventuring team tasked on the bounty of restoring the flame of Torch, as well as finding and recovering and rescuing the most esteemed, well-beloved council member, Conir Bane, who has not returned from his own expedition into these very, very dangerous ruins. Is my audio a little bit better now or no? Anyways,
yes.
Okay, well, perfect. All right, I just had it set to the wrong input. All right, so we've encountered many strange things beneath the earth here, whether it is subterranean creatures and hazards, into a vast underground world, a desert inhabited by undead four-armed skeleton creatures whose chieftain is bound to this realm in a state of undeath from a planet far from your own. This is his origin. Using your telepathy, Daeralei, you're able to meet up and not meet up, but just communicate with this strange foreign alien being and come to an understanding that does not have to end in violence. He asks you, please, bring himself and his people to rest, the eternal rest. In which you're still trying to figure out how to do that. You've gone deeper into this place, finding these Skymetal walls impossibly smooth, these rooms that seem incoherent and crafted by a people far more advanced than anything you've ever seen before. To come into now what appears to be a dilapidated, abandoned, ruined, blood-splattered, flickering lights complex, beset by mold that grows upon the walls, and blood smears upon the floors and ceiling. It's an eerie place. You found the crumpled remains of robots, automatons, in one hallway on the northern flank, and a giant plant monster on the southern end of the complex that you opened the door, immediately saw, and immediately closed the door then again. Just to go, not today, it seems. And that is where we left off last time. Here in this disturbing, unsettling complex deep beneath the earth. Zaari, you've just closed the door as you saw a massive, towering, writhing plant monster just down the hall from this door that you had opened moments ago. And whoosh, the door closes of its own volition after you press the button on the panel to your right. What do you do and how do you react to your fellow companions?
I think it takes her just a couple seconds to kind of process and log what she saw. And she looks back at Yrsimagor and There. It's a big. She hand movements and everything. It's a big plant flower thing.
You're frightened of a flower.
No. But the flower thing is. It's a lot. And it's moving around and.
What else was in the room?
The
Do you
mold?
think we...
Do we have. I mean.
Is there any reason that we need to progress this way?
Looks kind of important.
Well, I mean, the alternative was back the way. It was full of blood.
Yeah.
So I guess it comes down to blood or mold.
But the mold is bad for you.
I
Do you
mean, so
think
is dying.
we could try and coax even a little bit of the plant out here? I don't know how that plant works.
We got a little bit of the mold out, right? We were able to.
There's some of it on the other side, like the current like little locker type room that we're in. There is some. Everybody's been avoiding it because it's on the opposite wall. It's on the wall.
It's a different kind of mold, or is it the same kind of mold, than the red stuff?
It's the same as the red stuff.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, I thought I remember it was the same as the red stuff.
Okay.
But I thought we cleared the door somehow, but I don't remember how
Alcohol.
we did it.
It was alcohol.
Oh, that's right.
You
Alcohol.
upended
Yeah.
all
I
of the
upended your
spirits in your
flask.
little cask. Yeah.
That's right.
You were very sad.
I tried to get it out of my memory. It's very dramatic.
We need
For Dannek.
we need some kind of a create alcohol spell.
I mean, that would be nice in more ways than one.
Maybe it might be worth coming back. If this mold is going to be more of an issue.
Have we tried burning it?
I was going to suggest that as well. Some sort of fire.
I
like where you're headed. However, he says as he looks around, we are in an enclosed space. There is no ventilation in here. We are more likely to smoke ourselves out than to get rid of the mold.
all right. So
We can see if we can find some alcohol then.
then that leaves back either this door, pointing to the door just to the east of us, or back through that hallway with all the blood and the dead constructs. As I say that and kind of glance in the direction of where all the blood in the hall was, I'm going to head over by this door here. Does this require one of those cards to open, or?
It does. It does.
I
The
forget.
same set of it's the same panel doors upon this wall. There's no coloration to the panel, meaning that any key card will do to open this one.
Might as well see if there's any plants or blood in this room, too. If there's more mold, we may have to go back to Torch and resupply.
Mm-hmm.
So you give it an open.
I think Zaari has the key.
Mhm.
I don't believe I have one of the key cards.
Zaari will come over and keypad.
You see, as the door opens, a wide circular room, kind of dimmed and almost hollow, and this room doesn't appear to do anything. There's nothing in the center of this like circular engraving upon the floor. Instead, there is just a mere panel, some kind of contraption built into one of the walls. Otherwise, this room is quite featureless.
Don't worry, Dannek and Daeralei. Daeralei, there's more doors.
Oh, goody. And I think at that, Daeralei is actually going to come into the hallway with you guys, and in their hand they've got other keys. Like Zaari's got one right now, so Daeralei's got two more pulled out, and she gives one to Dannek as she passes, and then another one to Yrsimagor. Seems they all open the same kind of doors. There's no sense us not each having one in case we get separated.
What does this do?
You look upon this panel. You can see closer now that there has it's like a panel of like some kind of controls jutting out from the wall, but its left side has these coils of tubes that dangle from it, dangling to the ground, that periodically flash with sparks. Bzz, bzz, bzz. While there's a single massive glass square window in the panel that blinks with several lines of strange writing.
I just kind of look at it, shrug, and look at the others.
No, Zaari doesn't even go towards it. She doesn't go near that. She's just like kind of edging the room.
Eeny, meeny, tiny troll. Through which door shall we go?
Everyone who's in this room, as Yrsimagor's kind of stomping around, make a perception roll, please.
15.
Right. Zaari and Yrsimagor, you both actually noticed this now with like the collection of individuals in this room. There's almost like a kind of bounce to your step in this room, as in like the floor kind of gives a little bit when a third person enters and moves around, suggesting that the floor of this place is not nearly as stable as the rest of the complex. Almost as if like this room feels like it's suspended by like a spring or something, the way that it kind of shifts and moves with the weight of the occupants. And when you look up, Yrsimagor and Zaari, you see that the ceiling of this place is not made of the same like material and patterns of the rest of the complex. It doesn't have like the same like row of flashing lights that the rest of the complex has set into the ceiling.
Is it more stable on the edges of the room?
Not really, no. No, it just feels like the whole circular floor just kind of has a bit of a. I think you can almost feel it if you like rock up and down on the balls of your feet. Like, feels like the whole room kind of just has like a little like bounce suspension to it.
Yeah, I'm sure that has nothing to do with a Goliath and an orc standing in this room. Is there a plaque somewhere that says Otis Elevator Company, max capacity?
I was about to say.
I don't
If
like.
there would be, it would be in a strange writing.
Careful, Daeralei. Already the floor feels unstable.
Mhm.
Then maybe you should open a door so we can leave this room.
Again, eeny, miny, tiny troll. Through which door should we go? I'm going to open the north door.
Right.
I love
You
that that's what you're doing.
You swipe the key card, and the door is open to the north, revealing a long hallway that opens up into a site that you have seen before. You see the blood stains, the smeared entrails far to the north, the crumpled remains and frames of those automaton that have been thoroughly hacked one by one by Yrsimagor yourself. Flanking on either side of this hallway are another set of doors, one on the left and one on the right, leading to their own respective chambers, you imagine.
Now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to head down this hall.
Yep.
And given what we've already sort of exposed, I'm going to go to this door on the left. And yeah, I guess I'll swipe.
You see, as the doors open before you, a sprawling chamber of many desks, many tables, and many chairs, arrayed before numerous pieces of broken equipment and machinery. There's this residue of dried liquid smeared all about the floor from smashed containers that just creates this nasty, heavy stench in the air. There's pieces of glass littering everywhere, and you can see the liquid on the floor begins to actually bubble and move at your presence. Or at least maybe that's the trick of the light. But you can imagine seeing like almost like this flowing movement to the sticky red fluid.
On a quick scan of the room, does there appear to be anything valuable? Weapons, equipment, alcohol, bleach?
You see just these arrays upon arrays of if anything like that wasn't here, it probably has been smashed and destroyed through some event that you probably can't quite piece together. It's all just like mixed together. You can see like the detritus of some kind of incident happening here. I've just spilled all these fluids together down. You can see like the stains dribbling down some of the desks and flowing onto the floor, just making these massive puddles that cover most of this room. But otherwise, nothing catches your eye.
I'm going to swipe again to see if the door will close.
The door closes.
There doesn't seem to be anything of interest in there. And something on the floor looked like it might have been moving. Like stains or spills or whatever. I don't want to
The thing
mess
left
with it.
stains or spills? that was moving?
It looked like it. Sort of bubbling and shifting, and there's enough fluids and molds and plants and things that we have to deal with in this place. I would prefer not to risk myself for an unknown. There didn't appear to be anything of value in this room. At least to my eyes. And I step back. Feel free to take a look yourself. Okay, then shall we go this way? And then I'm going to... Is this another door?
Mhm. Yes.
I'm going to swipe that door, muttering under my breath, when did I suddenly become the point person?
I don't know. I find that to be a very
Comforting?
troubling decision. Should send someone else.
You see a smaller, almost more cramped room here on the other side of this door, where dominating its center are these two large circular tables with several chairs around them that fill the bulk of this room. There's a shelving of metal cabinets on the one wall, while you can see as well a large machine with glowing panels on its surface set into the entirety of the north wall. The air in this room is unusually warm. It much warmer than the ambient temperature of this place.
I'm going to take a close look at the floor. Is it moving?
Nope, the floor is both almost entirely unmarred beyond just like a layer of fine dust from eons of time below the earth. But no sticky, gross fluid mess like the other room behind you.
And oh, look, there's another door.
Mhm.
Since it's right just inside the room to the right there, is that the cabinet?
Yep.
I would like to explore the cabinet.
Yep, the cabinet opens with a little click, and you can see that all along, like, just when you open it up, it's shelves upon shelves of these racks that are, have arrayed in them both like left to right, left to right, up and down, and also like deep into the cabinet as well, are a bunch of these potion vials. They're all quite tall, cylindrical, and they seem to have substance in them. And I don't know if you can count this high, but there's like over 100 of them stashed away in this little cabinet of these little tubes, these little potions.
Are these like the ones that we saw before that were... Didn't we see some that were broken?
Do you remember where this was?
I feel like at some point we saw some kind of broken potion vials that had a residue in them. I don't know if these are the same thing.
Oh, no, that was on the body of one of the adventurers.
Okay, something different.
That was just like the residue of like an actual like healing potion.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
The
shape of these like tubes, these bottles, is like very unusual, like how like thin and cylindrical and like almost test tubey, one might say, that they are in size and shape.
I'm going to reach in and grab a couple of these tubes.
Mhm.
And step back out into the hallway and kind of... It looks like Dannek's right there. There's like a lot of these in a cabinet. I don't know what they are. What color is it?
They are all like kind of a...
Are they domain relics?
No, they're not radioactive blue. They're kind of brownish in color, almost like a nondescript grayish brown. Like not in like an unappetizing grayish brown either. Like,
So not like stool samples.
No. Like I'm trying to think of an example. Like the way that like bread like crust can be like kind of a brown color.
Okay. Guys, I found like a whole bunch of domain relics. We're set.
Or even like potatoes. Kind of like color of potato skin. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I'm holding these up to Dannek. I'm like, I don't know what these are, but there's like a lot. Like many handfuls. Handfuls, not handsful.
The caps of them do actually appear to come off quite easily.
And Dannek wants to reach out and take one.
I'll give it to you.
Going to take the cap off.
Waft, don't inhale.
Yeah. They're just smelling salts. What happens? It's very slowly. If he hears like any kind of like hissing or any kind of noise like that.
What is Dannek's favorite food and least favorite food?
Ironically, they're both potatoes.
Yeah. No, I imagine there's this I think his favorite food would probably be like meats and cheeses, as I imagine up in Torch. That's probably a pretty rare delicacy. Yeah,
Charcuterie.
Like, yeah, he's a charcuterie. And then probably his least favorite. Is there like an animal, like I imagine there might be like a bug or like a something like that. Yes, exactly that. Yes, a yakka beetle. Something like that.
You you waft the smell, and you smell almost like that tartness of cheese, this sourness of the roasted beetle that was one of your first meals that you had when you were introduced here to the lands of Torch. You can kind of almost like kind of taste in the air that savory smells of like dried roasted meats. There's some other few undertones as well, but the one thing you note entirely though is there's almost like an artificial like fakeness to the smells of this, as if like the way that normal food, when you smell it, has like these rich notes and they kind of mingle with each other. This kind of feels like almost like this exact pinpointed smell with none of like the deeper, richer smells that belie them. But otherwise, like, it smells like food, which is surprising to you.
Yeah, Dannek shoves it in front of like Yrsimagor's face. Smell this.
I smell meat.
And?
Mushrooms.
Dannek like kind of like smells it again. It kind of like wrinkles his nose at like this weird like combination. Do they all smell like this? And if anyone's coming down the hall, you probably just see like Dannek and Yrsimagor just like
what does this smell like? What does this smell like to you?
I imagine like you're hovered over like half a dozen of these tubes that you've kind of popped open in this room. Each one like smells a little bit different, but like you found like a duplicate of one that you smelled before. Like, oh, it's this one again. And then you kind of like you put the two and two together and you realize that they were actually somewhat organized in this cabinet before you like started rifling through them. Like there's certain like rows and like shelves of them are like, oh, actually they're all just like the same kind, and get to the point where you can actually like, identify which one's which, based on like the coloration and like the little changes of consistency. If you like shake the tube or whatever, but you get a full range of flavors and smells. Anything from a really like pungent fish to almost like a floral sweet smells. It almost seems like a dessert kind of smell. A full range of food smells from these tubes.
With the abundance of food smells, I'm gonna dip my pinky in one and just take a little taste.
I need you, please, Jake, to roll me a d6.
I can do that. It's a 6.
It tastes yummy, actually. It's it kind of has like a gritty taste to it, and it kind of gets. I don't know if you've ever eaten. I don't know if Yrsimagor, I should say, like ever eaten like uncooked like dough. It kind of has like a this would probably be better with those warmed up and cooked a bit first kind of like taste to it. It has like a little bit of grit to it that kind of clings to your teeth, and it's a bit like it's really strong too. You wish that you
Like
had diluted it in a bit of
concentrated.
water. Yeah. But otherwise, it seems palatable if not in this exact state.
I imagine Zaari just sees them down the hall, just huffing all of these tubes, and then she watches Yrsimagor just like num 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 num. She looks at Daeralei and she's like,
It's just Dannek and I are going, no, try this one. This one smells really
Yeah.
good.
It's like when the kids get like their hands on like those smelly markers, and it's like they
Yeah.
have to like smell them all.
they have to huff them all.
Yeah.
Try these two together.
They start changing, I'll end them.
Oh no. I think that's a good idea. I'll help you with this. Should we try this door that's behind me?
I like the one in front.
Okay. I think Zaari would go to that door and open it.
You open this set of doors, and you see ahead of you another grisly sight that matches the horror of the previous room you saw to the north, the hallway, excuse me, not room, where a massive blood stain smears itself across the floor up to a set of closed doors that dominate the end of this hallway. Though you can see that it has a T intersection at the end, suggesting the hall continues both north and south.
Maybe I don't like it so much after all.
I think Zaari would call out to Yrsimagor. She'd be like, hey, we found more blood. She just kind of points through this open doorway.
Perfect. I'm going to take just a handful of these tubes, these food tubes, and shove them in my pack. Just in case. I don't know why.
They are surprisingly small each. I could see you easily could pack like 20 away if you want.
Okay. I'll just add that in my notes. Mystery food tube.
Food tube. Dannek wants to go into this room.
Mhm.
And just wants to take like a quick kind of look around. He's looking for any kind of like names, anything to suggest who might have been here, or kind of like anything
Mhm.
identifiable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so beyond like the little cabinet that you and Yrsimagor were kind of rummaging through, there's the tables, and there's this giant machine on the north wall here. That you can see that it has a bunch of buttons and glowing panels that you can't really make sense of. But there is one. There's one panel that is glowing red hot that you immediately realize is the source of the warmth in this room. This panel has kind of an indent into it that is shaped exactly like the food tubes that you have in your possession. You could like just slide it in into this glowing red hot panel.
Okay. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna see what Dannek does. Okay. All right. He is going to put the tube in the slot, the indent.
All right, you put the tube into the indent. Make for me, please, a dexterity saving throw. As once you put the little goo tube into the slot, it almost like pushes a little button in the contraption that kind of clicks in place and locks it and holds this tube into place, as well as like there's this pressurized sound as extremely hot boiling water is then like kind of dribbled into, like poured into the tube from the top, and the heat around the glass begins to seep into the tube and cause it to overflow and boil rapidly. What was your dexterity saving throw?
I'm going to re-roll because I rolled a 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use a tube.
Domain,
And I'm going to
a
re-roll.
tube.
Okay, 16.
All right, you're able to pull your hand away as the intense heat and pressurized like water being poured into it causes the glass tube itself to explode in a boiling mess that kind of explodes right in front of you. You're able to kind of duck out of the way as very hot food sauce liquid stuff kind of like splatters like the inside of like the interior of like the panel of this machine, as well as like, you know, the wall and even like as far as like the chair behind you. You get the sense that the glowing red hot part of this panel is burning way too hot than it normally should to cook these apparatuses. But otherwise, you're kind of like left with these glass shards. You're able to narrowly dodge out of the way of what would have been a very, very hot boiling explosion right in front of you.
Do any of these tubes smell like alcohol?
No, they wouldn't.
Okay. Okay, so then, yeah, Dannek is going to kind of look around, trying to be all nonchalant about almost getting burning water on him. So he's just... right. He ducks out of the room.
You see, that's why I don't go pushing random buttons. I don't know what
Look,
any of this stuff does.
it fit perfectly. I had to try.
I understand. I was 16 once.
Children.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I'm gonna leave with Dannek.
So, but other than that, nothing else or anything alcoholic. That's also what Dannek is keeping an eye on.
Fortunately, nothing alcoholic in this room.
So while Dannek is having a mishap with the wall machine, Daeralei is going to cautiously and quietly move forward in the hall to try and peek around the corner to see what's what.
Zaari will be right on her tail, just like she is not letting the tiny elf lady go by herself.
You see the blood smear continue to the north, though it seems to be not coming from this way, but to this way, as if the blood is smeared towards you, towards whatever dominant central doors these are. But otherwise, there is a closed set of doors to the north and a closed set of doors to the south.
Daeralei would just look at Zaari and kind of indicate that middle door where the blood is all heading towards. I think whatever we need to find or learn is through that door. Maybe when the others get here.
Well, they're taking a little long, huffing those tubes. So
I'm worried for them.
I am as well. I can open the door just to see what's in there.
I'll stand over here.
That's fine.
In such a way that I can still see through the door, but I'm not in front of it.
Yeah. And Zaari will walk up and open the door.
You have to clench your stomach at the sight you see before you. You see a grisly sight. You see these beds set up, though they don't seem like proper, comfortable beds. Instead, they are chrome smooth Skymetal beds built into the floor. Great contraptions and apparatuses are built all around them. There is gore all over this place, smeared along the walls, on the floor, and all over these beds. Back to you is one of these robot automatons moving about the dismembered and bloodied and completely butchered remains of what you really don't hope to be a person, as you see part of the arm of this robot kind of give way to a weird like buzzsaw that's continuing to cut through and maim and butcher the flesh of whatever victim found itself here. That is what dominates the main site of this place. You can see that even like there's like arms on the contraptions themselves on the north and south sides of these kind of surgical beds. These arms also move around with their own volition, as if there's a mind to them. Again, like moving about the now completely butchered remains of some former victim. There are desks to the north and south side, but it's hard to notice them with the absolutely disturbing sight dominating the center of this room. As of right now, the automaton has not noticed you yet as it continues its work. It's a very important work upon the gore on the bed.
I think it's
almost like involuntarily. Sorry, Daeralei is just like, what form of torture chamber is this?
And I think it's as she says that Zaari just instantly closes that door. She goes, Yrsimagor, we have to tell Yrsimagor. Live construct thing. He'll be real happy to kill that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think she just swallows like this huge lump in her throat.
Yeah, I think Daeralei's having a hard time talking through the reflexes going through the body right now. Just
May I have both of you please roll a stealth check for your conversation happening between the two of you in close proximity to this automaton.
it was so close to being a 19, but it rolled over to a 6. So it's
Mine also was very close to being a 19. I got a 19 and an 11, so I have a 12.
yeah, my exclamation was probably not the softest at the very beginning.
So you got a 6 then? Was your total was your stealth?
Yep. Yep.
I think
rolled a 3.
that's the hushed tone, the hushed words that you say to each other catch the attention as this metal head swivels around unnaturally on some metal servos in its body. As it looks around to you, its body kind of swiveling in place, it blurts out something in a mechanical sound, a language that none of you understand, as it stamps towards you aggressively.
Does it sound like the same sounds that those first ones we met made?
Yes, though slightly different, but the same vibe for sure.
I want to
go ahead.
Do that same trick where I just like throw through my mind the command to halt. Because it worked last time.
Yeah, make me a intimidation check, please. Though at disadvantage.
Oh, you don't need to do that because I rolled a 4 on the die and I had 3, so this is really great. So 9.
The whatever logic is powering this automaton is far more in disarray than the previous ones were. There is short-circuiting within the logic circuits of this creature, and your mental commands do nothing to dissuade it. As it advances towards the two of you, everyone roll initiative for me, please.
Okay. Ouch. That's a 5.
Excuse me.
So we have a...
I rolled my first thing that was higher than a 4.
So Daeralei got a 20. Yrsimagor got a 22. Dannek got an 8. Oh, and it rolled a natural 1. Perfect. So it gets a 1 on this initiative.
As this thing is coming towards us, may I use my channel divinity vow of enmity, blah, 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 where I can choose a creature that I can see within 10 feet and I gain advantage on attack rolls for it for 1 minute?
What is the action use of vow of enmity? Is it a reaction or?
It is a bonus action.
Then no, but you will be able to do it at the start of
My
your
turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to make sure of.
Yeah, this is it. Almost like catches you by surprise at how quick it turns to advance upon you.
Yep.
Jake, you are the first to act. You hear something: the whirring of servos, the loud gasps of the companions down the hall. You get the sense that they are in trouble. As your little spider sense goes off. What do you want to do?
How far is that?
Oh
wait, we have a measurement tool, don't we?
Yeah, measurement 15 to. Yeah, I mean it's 40 feet as the bird flies, but you have to go around.
Looks like it's 60 feet total. So I'd have to. I'll have to dash. I believe, yeah.
Yeah. I can't see any. What was your movement? 30, right?
Actually, I'm a barbarian. Oh yeah, I'm not high enough level yet.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I'm at 30
can't,
feet.
can't quite reach the construct at 30 feet.
However, I do have a feature. Do I have to check real quick? Dash is a bonus. Oh. I have an adrenaline rush. I can dash as a bonus action. I still have one use left this rest. So I'm gonna bonus action dash to get the full 60 feet. So that'll put me whoops. That'll put me basically at the door here. Doing that is also going to give me 2 temporary hit points. And then I will then use my action to... I'm going to hurl one of my javelins at it.
Awesome. Make that attack roll for me, please.
That's going to be... God bless America. Well, that's a 15.
15 is not enough as it glances harmlessly off of its Skymetal armor.
I will give a roar that that Zaari and anybody else in the area will recognize is the precursor to a rage. And that's my turn.
All right. Daeralei, it is your turn next to act as you notice the machine were in your direction, having caught wind of the group of you. What would you like to do, Daeralei? You are muted. You are currently passing your stealth rolls by being.
I thought
extremely
I was
quiet.
trying to do my telepathy. It was just not working at all.
Mm-hmm.
Instinctively, seeing what this thing is, it's not talking, like it's not acknowledging like the other ones do. So I immediately am going to reach down into that spot that I have gained from some unknown travels, and I'm going to gather the power to cast Shatter upon this creature.
So it has to make a con save, right?
Yes. And if it is made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal, it has disadvantage.
Oh, sweet. So that would apply to this thing.
Con save of 14.
Okay. So it gets... Oh, it rolls a 7 on the die for a total of 9 on the con save. So it fails the con save.
Okay, so it is going to take 13 points of thunder damage.
13. You can feel the insides of it kind of crumple and rearrange from the shattering spell. 13 damage.
I'd also... I forgot about my little ability. I will take the 2 points of damage to add 2 points of damage to that as I grip my head, probably from the failed psychic noise. I was probably still attached to it, but as such, it will take 2 more psychic damage, as will I.
Perfect. All right, Dannek, it is your turn. So I guess, right, Daeralei, do you want to do any other like movement or anything?
Yeah, I kind of want to move away.
Okay, yeah, you move yourself away. Dannek, it is your turn. You see Yrsimagor having rushed down to the aid of your companions. You also get the sense that something is wrong. What do you want to do?
Yeah, Dannek is going to push down as well, following Yrsimagor. I can get down. out here.
Yep, that's one movement.
Is the door? This door is open, right? He can see the.
Yeah, yes. You have full
Right.
line of sight.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead and delete the doors.
Okay.
open.
I am going to. I'm going to attack with my short bow. I have.
Okay. Make that attack roll, please, then.
13.
13 is not enough to puncture its Skymetal armor, get into the spaces between the panels. Your attack is harmless upon its frame.
He is going to use his bonus action to give Yrsimagor help on his next attack.
Ooh, you get advantage, Yrsimagor, on your next attack. Zaari, it is your turn. This giant machine in your face, ready to dismember you limb from limb. What do you want to do?
Coolsies. Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna get a little closer to it. That's too soon. I need to move him. So I'm gonna get a little closer so I can hit it. We are going to Divine Smite it too.
Okay. Give me that attack roll.
Alright. With my Moon Touch Longsword. So 23.
23 hits. You're able to connect to do damage to this creature.
Coolsies. Yeah, we're just gonna do it one-handed. So let's grab that damage. So 14, and then my Divine Smite damage. Plus another 6, so 20.
So sorry, so 14 physical damage, right? From your weapon?
It would be, yeah, it's a moon touched longsword.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, slashing damage.
Yeah. And then what is the radiant damage? Was another 6?
The radiant damage was 6. So 20 total.
Yeah. This will have to be, I would like it divided up by damage type for these things.
Yep, that's fine.
As you do less than 20 damage, as this thing
Yeah.
has resistance to some of the damage that you're dealing.
Oh yeah. Okay, and then still for my bonus action, I'm going to do the Vow of Enmity or Enmity.
Enmity. Does it have to make any say? What does the vow do?
It just, all it does is I gain advantage. Any creature that I can see within 10 feet, and I choose it, so I choose this robot. I gain advantage on attack rolls against it for 1 minute.
Awesome. All right.
Or until its HP drops to 0.
All right, its turn now. It will try to grab you with its large hand, Zaari, as it rakes into your flesh with these metallic claws and gripping you with unnatural strength. It is going to make an attack roll against you. Natural 20 to hit.
Ow. Yeah.
So it's going to be
Karen's doing something.
Ooh.
Oh,
What do you want to do?
The domain dice. Yes, let's have you re-roll that because that hurts me.
What is the price of a DM reroll? Is like 5 or something?
No, the DM reroll
3?
is. Hold on, let me remember this because it was. Yes, it was. No. Carrie, are you still in there? Because I don't remember when we did D&D if it was 3 or 5. I'm trying to remember because one was reroll 3 was advantage, and 5 was, yeah, Carrie's confirming it is 5. It will cost 5 to make the DM reroll.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, you eat up 5 domain relics
Nom
to
nom
make
nom
me
nom.
Thank you,
reroll.
Tamiko.
I did not, for my second roll, I did not roll a natural 20. I rolled a 15 for a total of 21 to hit against you, Zaari.
It's still gonna hit me, but it's not gonna be that critical hit. A
This is going
critical
to
hit hurt
this is
my
going to
body.
do 9 points of bludgeoning damage to you, and you are now grappled.
Cool.
As it grabs you, it kind of begins to like pull you in close, almost like lifting you off of your feet. It's then going to like grab you with a third arm, kind of like pinning you down in place even more with another attack for the second part of its attack action. Getting a 19 to hit against you,
Yep.
which will deal 16 points of damage to you. And as a bonus action, its last of its third arms, you can see each of its fingers tips with syringes will just stab you through your armor, through your cloth, and you can see the blue fluid begin to pump into you. As it cast, quote unquote, the sleep spell on you using chemical anesthetic.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is your current hit point total 32 or less?
Yes.
You fall unconscious to the anesthetic as you go
Okay.
limp in its arms. For its movement, it will turn around and carry you, which will trigger an attack of opportunity for Yrsimagor, if you'd like to take it.
I absolutely would like to take it, as the weapon that I am wielding is the gripper. I'm going to take a attack. I don't remember. Am I swinging this thing, or am I like trying to grab it and can opener it? I don't remember how
Yeah, you're trying. It is like a clamp that you might use in like a workshop.
Yeah,
but
perfect.
like mechanically.
I'm going to see if this thing will do
enhanced.
anything against this thing. So I'm going to take that attack of opportunity. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
That hits.
That's going to be a 10 plus I get a +2 to for my robot slayer feat.
Ooh.
So that is 12 points of bludgeoning damage, non-magical.
All right. That does way less harm than it would to a person, as this thing does have resistance, it seems, to physical attacks. But still, you dent in part of the Skymetal armor with your attack of opportunity. But it grabs Zaari and shuffles along and drops you down upon one of these beds. And with its arms, kind of like clasps your arms and legs into these little bindings. And soon the arms whir to life. And they are going to act on initiative count 20. Surgery bed 20. As they whir to life. Buzzsaws and little
I
like,
love this.
electric little things begin to actively kind of scan your body now on the bed table, finding what diagnosing perhaps what kind of medical illnesses are treating you. That'll bring us to the top with Yrsimagor at initiative count 22. What would you like to do?
Seeing this thing get away with Zaari and take her to this table and start doing all this, I'm going to drop the gripper, and I'm going to draw the breaker, this Skymetal longsword that I have picked up. And with a mighty orcish yell, I'm going to go into a full-blown rage as a bonus action. And I'm going to charge at this thing. Let me see. Was it adrenaline rush? Okay. I'm going to charge at this thing, and I'm going to reckless attack. No, wait, I don't need to do that because I have bonus or advantage from Dannek's help action. So I will not attack recklessly. I'm gonna roll physical dice on this one. That is a 16 on the die, which is a 22 total to hit.
That hits.
Wielding it two-handed means that it's a 3 plus 4 is 7, plus the 2 for Robot Slayer makes it 9, plus 2 for Raging makes it 11 magical slashing.
Sweet. That will do. As you slice it with your attack with this Skymetal longsword, you break open parts of the panel, revealing its, I wouldn't say sensitive because it doesn't really have nerve endings, but more like vital components inside, effectively dropping its armor class now for future attacks. As you're able to destroy massive sections of its armor, revealing its weak points.
That was action, bonus action, so I am done, and I did move directly up to it to engage with it.
All right, it is now the surgery bed's turn. Sara, can you roll for me a d6, please, for what kind of nasty things happen to your character?
Hooray! I am very excited. It's a 6.
Okay, make 2 d6 rolls, please, and tell me what they both are.
Oh no.
Okay.
6 was the roll twice result.
One's a 4 and one's a 3.
All right. You see a laser scalpel come close and begin to
I'm
zap
asleep.
and slice parts of your flesh, dealing you. So this searing pain will cut through the anesthetic and make you conscious for this, though you are now bound. So you're going to take 13 points from the laser, cutting into like your abdomen.
Anymore, it's gonna down me, so this is gonna be fun.
And then it tries to go in with a more sensitive tool that you can see that everyone can see is like short circuiting. It's supposed to be like a more gentle tool, but its tip is definitely in disrepair, and its short circuiting is going to deal you 4 points of lightning damage.
That takes me down to 0.
All right, Zaari is
Ooh.
unconscious as the machine continues to work upon her. We then go to Daeralei. It is your turn.
Quick
What would
question.
you like to do? Oh, go ahead.
In relation to Zaari and I being the larger of the two, the orc and the thing that I forgot. I can't.
I'm a Goliath.
Goliath. I forgot the word. How big is this construct?
It is a large-sized creature, so it towers over the both of you.
Okay.
Actually, I'll resize it just to like.
Oh yeah, please make it bigger.
There we go. That's about how big it is.
You know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and drop it in the Discord so folks can see what we're dealing with.
If you zoom in nice and close, you can get all the full details of this
Oh yeah.
nasty monstrosity.
The nice thing about Owlbear Rodeo is that you can zoom in without losing resolution. The awful thing about Owlbear Rodeo is that you can zoom in without losing resolution. I did say in the chat, and for those of you that are watching, next, when we return in January, there will be a map screen so you all can see what we're seeing during the game.
Yeah, Daeralei, it is your turn.
I am going to release a pulse of the void from my fingers as I Eldritch Blast this creature in front of us.
Roll me that attack roll.
Rolled a 1.
Would you like to re-roll using a domain roller?
Yes, please, because that sounds horrible. Yes, I would love to. Thank you. I'm gonna try again. Okay, that's so much better. That's a 22 to hit.
Right, that hits.
Okay, so it will be 11 points of force damage. I will also take the 2 points of psychic to deal 2 psychic to it as well.
So how was the total of that? Sorry,
So 13 then.
13 total. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to move closer because I don't think Zaari's got long to live on that bed. So I will move my full movement forward, which is 30.
You said you're moving?
Yeah, I can't. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is the bar for moving? I go.
It's like the little measurement stick.
Okay, so 30 gets me into the room. I want to sneak behind Yrsimagor because I'm going for one of those panels. Maybe there's something I can do. So I'd like to go there at this moment.
Yeah, you can go there. If that's the entirety of your turn, then we'll go to you, Dannek. It is your turn.
I'm gonna try, I guess, to hit it again from a distance.
Here you can the armor plating has like crumpled off and fallen off from Yrsimagor's attacks, so it is like vastly easier to hit the sensitive parts of this machine.
Ooh, nat 20.
Nice. That's a critical hit. You
25.
do have sneak attack. You do have sneak attack, so you get to do a big critical damage.
Awesome. Okay. So you do crits.
The Jake way.
Automatic max damage on all dice rolls, then or automatic max damage across the board, then you re-roll any damage dice and add to that.
Yep.
Okay, so that includes sneak attack too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
I loosened it for you.
Yeah. So okay, so that's 6, 12, 18 for max damage, and then rolled is going to be 4, 7 plus 6 is 13. So 13 plus 18.
31 damage.
Yeah, 31 points of damage.
Which is not enough. As you get a nice solid arrow strike through the head of this robot. And you think a nice headshot, like the arrow went clean through from one side to the next. But it just kind of swivels its head to turn to you with an unblinking eye, with an arrow pierced through its robotic skull, staring directly at you, Dannek. It blurts out another thing in a language you cannot understand, hostile and buzzing with static. As it does not fall from the strike.
Yeah, now would be a very good time to kill this thing, Yrsimagor, he says, as he is going to, again, give Yrsimagor advantage.
Zaari, it is your turn. You must make a death saving throw, please.
Okay, everyone just pray for my dice.
I didn't redo the death saves back to the D&D way.
So let's do this.
I think I have those. Let me see.
At a natural 20.
You regain consciousness with 1 point of hit points. What would you like to do on your turn in a massive adrenaline rush as you will have your arms and hands clamped and you are bound to the surgery bed?
Are bound. Oh my god. How, like, is the binds, are they kind of loose? Are they rusty? Are they gross?
They are rusty. They are gross. They are
Lol.
weakened through thousands of years of time. They are built through very advanced technology. All in all, you definitely can kick and scream, and it might actually give way.
I was gonna
You
say,
feel
could
like there
she
might
at
be a
least
chance.
try to
Yes.
give way with
You
one
can
of her
definitely-
arms?
You can definitely try. Give me a strength roll, please, to burst from your shackles.
Okay, let's do this. Oh no, that's a 6.
Not enough. You try to strain
I'm just-
against them, but they are too strong.
I'm just kicking and screaming.
Yrsimagor. Oh no, sorry, no, not Yrsimagor. The robot gets a turn.
Oh,
The robot is going to do to you, Yrsimagor, what it just did to Zaari is it tries to grab you, clamping you with two of its arms as it makes an attack. It makes using his action, it makes 2 attacks against you. You are not attacking recklessly, so it has a normal attack. So it's going to be an 18 to hit for the first one.
that will hit.
And then the second hit will be a 16 to hit.
That will also hit.
Okay. So it gets a total of 30 points of bludgeoning damage upon you between those two attacks. And you are
Oh,
grappled.
wait, bludgeoning?
Yes, bludgeoning.
I'm raging, so that's 15 points.
And then it grabs you and tries to lift you. You're a bit heavier, so you can hear like those servos kind of whirring and grinding into place, and like it's quite damaged, so it's having a bit harder time lifting you. But it'll refill those syringes once more as a bonus action and jab them into you to give you its last dose of anesthetic that it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you have 30 or less remaining hit points right now?
I have 39.
You shrug off the anesthetic. It flows through your body, but you do not fall unconscious from it, as you're able to resist the anesthetic's effects. You are still grappled, however, but you are no longer asleep. Regardless, it tries to pick you up and put you on the surgery bed, but you can make an athletics roll to resist this because you are conscious, unlike how Zaari was.
Oh, geez. I am going to re-roll that.
You do have advantage on athletics rolls because you are raging right
Oh,
now.
wait, you're right. I do, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 2 both times.
Okay.
So... Okay, that's a 15 plus 5 is a 20.
Yeah, that's enough. It tries to.
Actually-
You can hear that grinding.
Actually, that's a 22 because
Yeah.
I'm raging.
You can hear the grinding of its servos. It's unable to kind of move you around. You're still too struggling, too alive and kicking. As it tries to like refill the syringes once more to give you another dose, you can see that it's kind of all out. And that will be its turn at finish of count 1, which brings us to the top. Yrsimagor, it is your turn. You are grappled by this thing, but you get to act
And
what
it's
you want to do.
sort of got me lifted up partway, right?
Kind of like your toes are still touching the ground because you're heavier
So,
than Zaari is.
What
but-
I would like to do,
yeah.
I'll tell you what I want to do, and you tell me how you want me to roll this attack.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that this thing is in pretty bad shape, and because I'm grappled, I would like to, using where it's holding me up, just lift my legs up, wrap around its neck, and basically try to rip its head off with my orc thighs.
Incredible. That will be an unarmed attack from you, which I know that you get.
Yes, I have a
buffs
feat
too.
that gives me bonuses
Yeah.
for unarmed attacks.
Yeah. So just give me those raw unarmed attacks. You can make this a reckless attack. No, you get the
I
automatically
get
get the advantage from Dannek. Yeah. So let's go with unarmed strikes.
the...
here.
Oh, geez. The first roll is a 1, so let's take the... Okay, that's a 17. That is a 22 for an unarmed strike.
All right, that hits.
That's going to do a straight 4 damage, plus 2 for Robot Slayer, plus 2 for Raging, for a total of 8.
All right. You can feel the metal start to pop as it unwinds and unclicks, but it's still not quite enough. As it the head is twisting and pulling off, but it's still alive, even though this would far have killed a human. Do you get bonus action unarmed strikes as a beast rager?
I do not. Let me see. Nope, my only bonus actions are Adrenaline Rush and Rage.
I'm for sure that you got bonus action.
Not at this level, anyway.
Oh, if you use if you use a claw attack, you can use an additional claw as the same action.
Let me see.
Form of beast. Because you're beast soul, right? Or whatever it's called. Path of the beast.
I am a form of the beast. It's a Path of the Beast. I don't see anything that says that I get a extra attack. Double checking. Speed, adrenaline rush, dark vision, powerful build, relentless endurance. There's
You're in
nothing
the form of the beast
at this level under form of the beast. There's nothing that's giving me an extra.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Attack. The extra attack is a reaction if you use the tail.
Oh, okay.
Which I
yeah,
don't
I'm
have.
I'm seeing the claws entry here. When you get 1d6 damage in your claws once on each of your turns when you attack with a claw. You make one additional claw attack as part of the same action, giving you 2 claw attacks. But...
It's weird because it does not say that in my character sheet.
Yeah,
I'll look that up. Regardless, I didn't use my claw attack anyway.
Anyways,
but I will look.
So you're you're trying to pop this head off. It's hanging on by a single metal tendon, buzzing and whirring and sparking with electricity. You're not quite able to finish the job. As the surgical bed is the next act upon Zaari. You are conscious for this now and not unconscious last time.
Cool.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Please, dice, don't hurt
This
me.
will be with disadvantage because you are restrained.
Okay, so that first one was a 9. Oh, this last one's a 4.
All right, you are unable to avoid the fate of the surgical bed. Roll me a d6, please, and tell me what you get.
Oh. A 1.
Shing, shing, a pair of blades begin to go in for the incision to extract the imperfections. You are going to take some slashing damage. You're going to take 8 points of slashing damage from surgical blades.
I'm down again.
Daeralei, it is your turn.
Thing is still up, huh? And the bed is still going. Oh
Still cutting into Zaari. Yep.
Is there some sort of like panel or something on the bed itself, like these arms that I could that looks like it might be their power source?
I mean, there's there's the whole bed. It's all just one giant contraption.
Okay.
So you'd have to investigate there to see how it's plugged in and stuff.
Without not really having that time or luxury, I am going to Eldritch Blast the arm. Not right where it's over top of Zaari, but back where it's attaching to the
part of the actuator or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want
Make
to
me
burst it apart.
It's gonna be trivial to hit, so just roll me the damage.
So that'll be 11 points of force damage.
All right, you're able to blow through one of the arms that is performing surgery upon Zaari. destroying its joint in the limb and kind of rendering it useless. There's now a 50% chance that the medical malfunction table will not happen each round for Zaari.
Cool. And then I am going to continue moving into the room towards these desk things.
This will trigger an attack of opportunity as you leave the reach range of the robot. Do you risk it anyways?
Yeah, because I figured it was, busy with Yrsimagor ripping its head off, so I was not paying attention.
Yeah, it will attack you as you swing by. Getting only 11 to hit because it's which serves as unable to really try to grab you and smack you properly since it's dealing with Yrsimagor. So you are unharmed.
Yeah,
that's your turn.
Turn.
All right. Derek. Sorry, not Derek. Dannek, it is your turn. My ends look like ours. Dannek, it is your turn. Derek.
Derek. Yeah, Dannek is just gonna fire away. That worked last time, so maybe it'll work again this time. And he's going to use his bonus action to give himself advantage.
Okay.
On this attack. He wants to kill this thing. That's a 21.
That hits.
Nice. And I do have sneak attack.
Yes, you do.
So that's 12 points.
12 points is enough to end it as you pierce right through part of the actuator fluid central system in its chest, and it sparks and slumps as its limbs freeze and go limp as it falls, defeated, though Zaari is still being dissected upon the table. Anything you want to do with the rest of your turn there, Dannek?
He's gonna move up here.
All right, Zaari, roll for me, please. Your death saving throw.
Please. I got a 12.
All right, you survive death's door for a moment. That brings us. The robot's dead. Yrsimagor, it is your turn to act. Zaari is being sliced open by this machine. What do you want to do?
So there's like mechanical arms coming down that are slicing into her.
Yep.
With this thing down and releasing me, I will immediately go over and attempt to rip these mechanical arms out of the wall.
Oh, the arms themselves, perfect. Yeah, okay. Give me the strength check, just to rip them out. And your robot slayer feat can add its bonus to this roll.
Okay, so just straight strength.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's going to be an 18.
Plus you're raging, so you'll get advantage.
And so with the raging and the robot slayer, that's a +5 on top of an 18, making that a 23.
Yeah, you're able to rip out another one of the arms that are working upon Zaari, to the point where now there's 2 destroyed arms, which makes the surgery bed almost not quite, but almost useless on her. Dropping the chance down from 50% down to 25% of giving her harm this round. And then we will move to the surgery bed's turn. So now we're at 25%. All right, Sara, roll for me a d4.
Okay. 3.
The arms try to actuate to continue their surgery upon you, but they cannot, for they are either destroyed or ripped off as you
Cool.
survive peril for a moment.
Hooray!
Daeralei, it is your turn.
I'm going to blast another one of those arms.
All right, roll me the damage since the attack is trivial.
7 this time.
Right, you're able to blow off another one of the arms, reducing the harm down to 0%, as there are no more arms left to work surgery upon Zaari. And we are still in initiative, however, because she is still dying from many, many wounds and burns and electrical scars upon her.
Is it a... Okay, so how are you doing, like, healing potions? Is it a bonus action to drink one yourself and an action
Yes.
to
Yeah,
give one to somebody
exactly.
else?
Yep.
Okay.
Dannek, it is your turn. Zaari is dying, bound to the surgery table. The limb is no longer a threat.
Yeah. I think he's gonna just make sure, like, 'cause they just made like a crap ton of noise, I'm sure. So Dannek is going to go. It's just gonna go up this way.
Mhm.
Wants to listen for any incoming noise.
Make me a perception roll, please.
21.
You hear nothing. You hear silence. You do not hear the sounds of more metal footsteps advancing towards you, nor their blaring, sirenous, strange mouthpieces. There is nothing beyond that door that is moving.
Okay.
Zaari, make for me a death saving throw. Death saving throw, please.
You got another 12.
All right, one more success.
I'll take it.
Yrsimagor, what would you like to do?
So, Zaari is literally open wounds, dying on the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am going to attempt the most basic battlefield medicine, and attempt to stabilize. Probably ripping at some piece of cloth and trying to cover up wounds, things like that. Just basically using the my action to attempt to stabilize with a medicine check.
Roll me that medicine roll, please.
Side note, I am not trained in medicine.
Rub some dirt on it.
So I rolled a 14, I have a +1, that's a 15, and
That is enough.
that should stabilize. As I'm
Zaari
as
now-
I'm doing that, I'm just stay with us, Zaari.
Once he stabilizes her, Daeralei is going to come over, having pulled out a healing potion from their pack, and is going to pour it down Zari's throat.
Nice. You will regain consciousness with that many hit points that you roll.
Ooh.
Kaeryn, you can roll ahead. You can go ahead and roll those hit points that you are giving.
Just a regular healing potion, right? So it's a
2d4
2d4
plus 2.
plus 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So 4 plus 2, 6.
Awesome. Thank you.
Zaari, as you come to consciousness, healed from your wounds, though barely alive and stitched together, the four of you have survived this mechanical horror. And we are going to take ourselves a short rest, a little break now, as the
Hooray!
action dies down, as we go ahead and go for a little break.
All right. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. We will see you on the other side.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. As we have survived the horrible onslaughts of cruel, unfeeling machines, you have survived, as in this moment you're able to unclasp yourself now without the pressures of looming death above you, Zaari. You're able to get back onto your feet, put the innards back into your gut, as the healing magic of the potion of healing washes over you, stitching you probably literally back together.
Closies.
In this place, you can't imagine just what would have happened if your companions didn't save you. As when you step off the table, you step upon one of the bones of a previous victim of this place.
Almost trip. Can I use the rest of my lay on hands pool? It's only 5 HP, but I think I'm gonna use that on myself.
Yep.
Cool, thank you. You just see her just kind of like press her hand to her chest, and it just glows this very pretty gold color, and her whole body just shudders.
But what would the four of you like to do now, having survived this death that was about to await you?
Are these desks like got drawers and stuff with them, or are they just like
Yeah, they got
tables?
they have drawers. They have cabinets above them. They have chairs that wheel around with like tiny little wheels that you can push around,
I'm
which might
gonna.
be even a little bit amusing.
I'd like to look through the cabinets and drawers. I'm looking
Mhm.
for medical supplies, things that I would recognize as medical supplies.
You can roll for me an investigation check.
No, not doing so good on those skill checks. 8.
You open these drawers and they are filled with supplies of some kind. There's these like casks and like almost like cartridges that you can imagine could be like fitted into like this massive machine that was working upon Zaari, like filled with various fluids and stuff like that. But you really can't make heads or tails of them. And you, even if you could, you have no idea what they're for. Your advanced technological medicinal knowledge is not advanced enough to know what these are for. Something does catch your eye, though, as you open up one of the drawers. A key card, much like the ones that you have given out to your companions, though instead of a brown stripe going down its side, a white stripe.
I get excited because I remember we had a white stripe somewhere, and
We
I
did.
show it to everybody.
It was back before we came in this area, the little room that I wanted to look in.
Yeah.
I will hand the key to Yrsimagor.
I think we need to go back. If I'm being honest, you all look like shit. And I'm finding it harder to draw upon my anger to fight these creatures.
I mean, to be fair, most of this blood is Zaari's.
Which is another thing.
I
Zaari
don't think
needs
Zari's talking. She's
Zaari
just
needs
like
real medical attention. I don't want us to end up like those other bodies that we saw on our way here. or some other adventuring party to find lying dead in the halls of whatever this place is. Besides, if we go back, we can stock up on alcohol. And I look at Dannek for the mold. And if you need to
Dannek.
refill your flask.
Yeah, Dannek just nods. You know, we can always have extra. That's always good.
Believe me, I want to keep finding any remaining of these constructs and tear them apart. But that's getting harder to do, especially if I have to do it by myself because you're all dead.
There is those that we first met as we came through here that we'll have to potentially deal with on our way back.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky and find medical supplies in that door. Behind that door, not in the door. With this card. Unless you have some magic that can teleport us back to town.
Me?
Yeah, I see you slinging spells.
If I had magic to teleport myself back to town, I would have done it already. Not without all of you, of course.
Only there was some kind of scroll of town portal we could use. Don't hear any disagreement, so
I think it's smart.
I agree. We need to go back. We need to restock. However, we need to talk to Hetwa before we go.
Why do we need to talk to that?
So he doesn't kill us on our way out?
Fine.
you go talk to him and I'll look in that, whatever's in that room. And if it's
You might.
one or more constructs, I'm going to be pissed.
He might know of a place here. Actually, never mind. No, yeah, Dannek nods to Yrsimagor and is, I'll come with you.
All right, so I guess we're heading back the way we came with the intention of ultimately, well, I guess first we're going to go talk to what's-his-nut while Dannek and I look in the supply closet. I'm just, in my head, it's a supply closet. I don't know what it is.
I think I've then moved the map over to the previous map that we were on.
Maybe it's an elevator that takes us actually up to the surface.
It's like a Willy Wonka elevator, and it just takes us where we need to go.
Isn't that how that works in these games? You get to a certain point, and then you unlock the passage that gets you back to town quicker?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a waypoint.
Yes.
You open the door.
All right, so Dannek and I are going to go check out this door down here. And Daeralei and... I don't know where you're going, Zaari. Are you going with...
She's gonna go with Daeralei.
I'm assuming that Hetwath is still there.
Mm-hmm. You see him, he's pensively, arms clasped behind his back, staring out the vast windows overlooking the cold, dark desert that once was his home. He looks contemplative and pensive, a bit morose even, looking over his home of 9,000 years.
So I send out the thoughts to him again.
He turns to you.
Sorry to disturb you.
You have
in your
returned.
musings. We have returned. No wiser than we were before. Much hurt, as you can see. We are going to return and restock, resupply, bring things we need to come back. I have not forgotten our dear.
I have not forgotten either. I hold you to it. The dead do not forget.
We will be back. Maybe a day or two. As we need to recover. But we will be back.
He looks out to the sands. Very well. You will return in one day of your time. If you take longer than that, I will consider you having abandoned our deal. If I'm to be trapped in here, then so shall you. You have this grace I have given you. Now go. I'm not one to give graces lightly.
Till we return. And Daeralei would then kind of give like a head nod and turn and leave the room.
In the meantime, Yrsimagor, you see a white striped panel down here on this door.
Humming the tune to the Seven Nation Army, I will swipe the door.
You open the door and you see a room dark, filled with many panels and apparatuses and consoles. A strange table at the center of this room. The air in this room seems to buzz and hum with energy. There's glowing rectangles in the ceiling above going down, white strange flickering windows lining the east and west walls. There's the far north there is a single golden panel in the far console that flashes with a soft but incessant light. At the center of this room is a giant humming pillar of purple and black metal that stands. Its sides flash violently with violet energy. There's a thick layer of dust that coats everything, as this room has not been disturbed at all in these entire 9,000 years, unlike the other remains of this place, where either the undead or constructs have wandered. Lots of the machine seems to be damaged and disrepair in this place, as if injured and destroyed by some kind of calamity a long time ago. But the glowing panel at the far end seems to be one of the only things that really has survived the crash, as it glows, glowing and blinking with that slow but soft, incessant flashing.
I will cautiously make my way across the room to examine this, giving it a good look, but probably not really comprehending what I'm looking at, but at least looking like, and then turning to Dannek. What do you make of this?
Ooh, Dannek's gonna go and look. Can you discern anything more?
You go up to the panel and you see that like there's like soft glow that's pulsating from underneath the dust. And if you were to swipe kind of like the dust off, you'd see that the panel has it's kind of like an amberish, like glowing panel, where in it has like a very simple word in a language that you do not understand, kind of inscribed over top of it, as well as almost just like a glowing hand that almost fits the size and shape of your hand perfectly. A 4-fingered and a thumb hand, exactly the size of a human's hand.
Listen. He like gestures to the handprint.
It's like specifically like a symbol that's like glowing in the panel. That's like vroom, vroom.
I take a 5-foot step backwards.
Yeah.
The vial worked out fine. Or the tubes, food tubes.
Are you trying to convince me or yourself?
He looks again. Yeah, he's gonna touch it. That's been Dannek's MO so far, is just yeah. So he's gonna put his hand on it.
You put your hand down on the panel, and a little soft voice from a little speaker next to where your pinky would be buzzes a few sentences at you in an alien language, and then you hear a click, a chunk, chunk, as like all of a sudden all of the lights in the like from the ceiling kind of turn off. The glowing panel shuts off for a moment as you're left down in pitch black darkness, only with like the glowing, almost like black light pillar of violet energy behind you. And then everything begins to humming back to life and turning back on as the screens that are left and right of you all fill with images, though quickly many of them are filled with static, like the static noise of an old TV. The lights turn back on in full brightness, and the pillar of black energy, the purplish black energy behind you and behind you, Yrsimagor, actually begins to create and project a holographic projection. You see a landscape studded with stones and boulders, sand dunes, a perfect replica of the spherical circular desert that it is in this room. You see on some of the screens a captured vision of the desert from some angle, whether high up in the sky or really low, as if you're looking through the eyes of a rock. And that is what the two of you see. The other two of you, Zaari and Daeralei, you see as this same like power happens, like the lights go down and come back up in full brightness again. Hedwath seems confused and concerned before he looks out the observation window. And if your eyes follow where his eyes go, you see the dome above the desert glowing. It is no longer pitch black. It is rubies and ambers and colors with soft clouds floating. A great, bright, reddish yellow sun looming overhead as the sky returns to life. And his last thing he says, "Praise be, shadow and sand claim me no longer," as he outstretches all 4 of his hands, his arms out in a supplication pose, as he disintegrates into dust, leaving behind only his worldly belongings that clatter to the ground, his pair of swords, a fur cloak that he had wrapped around his neck and arms, as well as some of the rags that he wore that now lie in a pile of his ashes.
I think it's pretty. Daeralei was like leaving the room, and she just remembered at one point that there was a question she wanted to ask, and she turns back to ask this question when the lights go down and then come back up, and she's in the process of asking, do you know a Cassandra as he disintegrates in front of them?
Your question goes unanswered as Hetuath gets a final rest. And you see the great desert. You see that some of the whatever machines were running this place begin to work as the wind picks up, and you can see like sand, like dunes, like not sand dunes, like billows of sand and wind flowing across the sands in this desert place. But now it seems incredibly more empty than it once was now with Hetuath gone, and same with the skeletons in his control.
I will go retrieve the items that dropped.
I was about to say, I think Zaari would be like, we should at least look.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, any, like, the weapons, give it to Zaari, like anything that they're, you said there was weapons and fur?
And
Yeah,
and
a fur
the first scarf cloak that he wore around his neck.
Does it look mundane, or does it look like it might be
All
fancy?
three of them are magical items. The two swords and the cloak. The cloak itself is made of a fur of a beast that is not from this world, but from some far-off world, perhaps the native world of where these Kasatha come from. It has 6 limbs and 4 eyes set into the skull. It looks like the pelt of a creature, the same way that one might wear a bear cloak or a wolf pelt or something around their neck, but of some alien creature with 6 legs and 4 eyes.
I'd like to inspect the cloak.
You can see that the cloak is a cloak of protection. After a bit of identification.
Sorry, what's your AC?
17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I just got hit really good. The dice were very nice to Vi tonight.
Yrsimagor might
Yes.
like this.
I think that would be very good for Yrsimagor. And I think with that, Zaari will inspect the 2 swords.
They are each +1 short swords.
Awesome.
They are hewn from bone and bone from, again, probably some foreign alien creature, and crafted and enchanted. And they look very well crafted, created through alien hands. Like you can feel them, like the grip in them isn't quite right, because you notice that Hetuath has like differently shaped hands than yours, so like the hilt doesn't quite fit right, because he had 3 fingers and you have like 4 and stuff like that, but it still has a good balance to them, each of them. They're quick and they're precise. +1 short swords, 2 of them.
I think she'll look at Daeralei and should we give at least one of these to Dannek?
Dannek might like one for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And you will have the other?
That's what I'm thinking.
And I think with that, we've got everything from that fell, right? At this point? Yeah.
Everything else is ash.
So, return to the others, bearing our gifts.
Yep, she'll approach Dannek and just kind of, she'll flip the short sword over so that she's kind of holding the blade and offers him the hilt. I thought you could use this.
Yeah, you see Dannek smile as he takes it, because his got destroyed by
Mhm.
the. Yeah, so this is excellent. So he would definitely take it. As he's like, look what we did. As he like points to like this cool little light display.
So
That was you.
you're the ones that did that.
You turned. You can't actually see the dome from this room, right?
It's-
Not from the room that
Yeah.
the pair of them are in, but the room that you were in
Yeah.
had a massive
So-
window. But this one doesn't.
You returned the sky to the dome. And the what were they called?
Kasatha.
The Kasatha are gone. We have
Freed them.
satisfied our part of the deal.
Oh. Danek's just like.
This is what is left, and Daeralei would hand the fur cloak to Yrsimagor.
And so he gave gifts?
Oh no,
He left, and the
He-
gifts were left behind.
he
Well-
kind of just faded. I don't know how to explain it.
They are at rest.
So
Their 9,000-year existence is over.
so that removes a whole level of opposition to our quest.
Yes,
It
we
makes
no
going-
longer
Home, briefly,
easier.
easier.
Mm-hmm.
You said this was a cloak of protection? Okay.
Yes,
So-
it is a cloak of protection.
Well then, I guess, Dannek, you should continue to push buttons.
You see your Yrsimagor, sometimes it works. Sometimes you get boiling water, hot steam, and sometimes you save a. He looks to Daeralei. Person.
You bring peace to a people.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
I think with that, we.
Just retrace your steps back to.
Yeah,
All the
let's-
way back to
let's
go
Torch.
home.
Back to Torch.
How long have we been gone?
When you get back, it'll probably be like a days of exploration.
Cool.
Been a long day.
Yeah.
I don't know where you guys are on hit points. I'm not that bad, but I feel like you guys are not great.
12.
Also
Not about
12.
half. 18.
12
I'm at
out of 42.
Oh, jeez. I'm at 3/4, but I'm also tapped out on all of my abilities. And I believe we
Yeah.
burned both of our short rests.
Yeah. I've got one spell left.
Well, I think we had talked
And
last
then-
session about that we were eventually going to need to get back to town
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
rest up. So,
This worked out.
yeah. And I'm definitely glad that Dannek and every time now I keep wanting to call you Derek. Thanks, bye.
You're welcome.
I have to correct myself from calling you Derek. I'm glad Dannek and I decided to investigate that chamber.
So, on your way back, retracing your steps as you go through those caves once more, past where the subterranean skulks had lived once before they were butchered apart by gremlins that you had dispatched yourselves. You I'm just gonna drag you up to the next little place.
This
You can go ahead and rearrange yourself as you
this
wish.
area seems so small in comparison to where we were.
Mm-hmm.
This seemed like it was a big area when we were here the first couple times.
You can go ahead and rearrange your marching order as you wish. But as you come up through this narrow hallway, illuminating the path with your torch, you see something that was not here before. You see ahead of you, in the rubble, in the pile, where you had once left the body of the slain adventurer that you found in the mold. You see that same corpse kind of slumped up, almost in a throne, hobbled together through the rubble that's in this end of the tunnel. And back to you, you see a small creature made of fungal and plant tissue and ligaments, on its knees, like bowing before this corpse on a rubble throne down at the end of this tunnel. The body itself has been covered head to toe in nasty mold. It's grown far faster than when you last left it. Completely almost overgrown, the flesh being eaten through, as this creature worships it. What do you do in this brief moment? As it does not notice you yet.
Zaari, you appear to be in the lead.
I moved myself behind you.
Oh, you did. Daeralei, you appear to be in the lead.
He goes, what?
I was like,
This is the
Unless-
marching order you put yourselves in.
Unless
He
you
would
would
be
have,
at the back.
unless you would have wanted me to be at the point, in which case I will gladly.
So, you said this was a fungal creature?
Mhm.
Or I'm, you know,
He looks like a fun
I'm,
guy.
I've just had a bad day. I'm just none of this. Eldritch blasting that thing. Just boom.
All
That's what
right,
I'm
make an
doing.
attack roll with advantage because you're hidden.
So that was a 25. Yeah, we'll take the
That hits.
25.
Mhm.
I'm doing the. Let's. It's not a very good hit. Doing the psychic thing. So 6 points of force and 2 points of psychic.
This springs it into action. Surprised, it turns around as it picks up a little like piece of rubble that vaguely resembles a spear, and charges at the four of you. And instead of doing an initiative roll, because this is a very silly for initiative combat, so Daeralei, you've had your action. Dannek, what do you want to do as this thing charges at you with a rubble spear?
Oh, I'm sorry. And when it gets hit, sorry, it's blasted back 10
Oh,
feet into
okay.
that chamber.
So it kind of like as it tries to close a little bit of the distance. Dannek.
Muted.
You're muted.
Dannek is gonna go in front of Daeralei, if that's possible.
Mhm.
And just gonna go to this thing. He wants to try and hit this thing, but like not. He doesn't want to kill it. He just kind of wants to. I don't know. He feels kind of. It feels kind of silly for them to just kind of kill this thing. Not silly, but he feels kind of bad after defeating this like really intense like automaton.
Yeah, this
Now
feels
there's this little mold guy
pathetic
with a
little
spear.
thing.
Yeah, so he just kind of wants to bonk him, if that's
All right.
possible.
Roll for your bonk. What are you bonking him with?
Just
Like
the
rock?
the hilt of
the
his
hilt
sharp.
of it. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll for an attack then.
I got a nat 20.
All right, well, I'm going to say that's enough. The critical hit is definitely enough. as it like charges up at you, like ready to go to the spear, and it like leans back, and like gives you just enough time to bonk right over the head, as its eyes spin in the sockets and it collapses backwards, landing on the ground. No longer an issue for the four of you.
Listen, he like turns around. He's like, my mentor always had a rule of, no killing when you're tired. You might regret it. We're all in bad moods. Let's go back. This guy will probably, I don't know, be something when we come back. And we'll feel better. It'll be fresh.
And it'll bring friends, and we'll have more things to do. I get it. Great.
Dannek shrugs. If you would like to kill it, he gestures towards this thing.
Okay. Yeah, taking that as an invitation.
I was gonna
Everybody
say,
would just
I think
go over.
the three of us are just like, yeah, fuck this.
Dagger, done.
I was going to pick up its unconscious body and now dead body, walk it to the edge of this frozen room, and toss it into the frozen mold.
You've tossed the small creature's body into the frozen molds, and you see that within minutes it's going to freeze solid.
I'm regretting that we
Inside
took
the-
this body out of the mold, seeing that it's all covered, or out of the frozen area. It feels like because we took it out, that's why this mold is growing all over it. But also, I don't want to go touch the moldy body.
Your keen eyes would notice that the mold that growing on this body is the exact same kind of mold and same kind of coloration, the same kind of like rustish green color as what's growing in the deepest part of that complex.
I definitely don't want to.
However, it is very different from the mold that is cold, the cold mold down in that little section of the cave there.
Make a note. We need to douse this thing with alcohol on our way back.
Lots of alcohol. Lots and lots of alcohol.
At this point, I think the night before we turn in, and I look at Dannek, calls for lots and lots of alcohol.
Now you're talking.
And I guess we'll continue on our way.
And as you continue your way out of the caverns, you return to the town of Torch. And that is where we're going to leave off for the next session. We're going to have ourselves, in the new year, a fresh character sheets. There we go. Fresh character sheets. A bit of a town reprise from the underground explorations.
We'd made
Bookkeeping
it.
wise, you can go
die.
ahead and fill out a full rest on your character sheet. But it's going to be far. It's going to be far from eventless your stay up in the town of Torch for the night. But we're going to pick up on next session what it's like in the town of Torch. And the answer is no, you do not level up. For you have not recovered Conir Bane yet, I say winkingly.
Well, as Tamiko said in the chat, good job on staying alive, y'all. We made it.
We rock.
All right.
To Skymetal. Sorry.
Be sure to tune in on Thursday for our next session of Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, which will be our first Welcome to Paradise Academy, as we have our special episode before the new season in the new year. And as always, the VODs for the games this week will be uploaded to YouTube by this weekend. So you'll be able to catch up on any of the MTD shows that you've missed. Yeah, so huge thank you to everybody who joined us in chat at various times. We've had quite a few people stopping by. Shout out to Tamiko once again for the 5 community gift subs that literally kept Zaari from dying earlier. And yeah, thank you to everybody who has joined us. And if you're somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the background, we appreciate you as well. Or if you're watching with us on VODs. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to our incredible game master, Vi, and to Kaeryn, Sara, Em, and myself, without whom this would just be Vi talking to herself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want.